fan Trek Wayfarer. Milky Way Mission 1. Echoes Beyond the Chart. Opening scene. The USS Wayfarer slips out of warp near the edge of Federation space, her patched hull gleaming faintly against the stars. The crew is restless. This was supposed to be a routine supply run to Outpost K-17. But the moment they drop out of warp, a faint, distorted distress signal cuts across the comms. Ensign Merrick Chin, eager, a little overeager, Captain, I've got something. It's not on any Starfleet frequency, but it's definitely a distress call. Coordinates are, well, they don't match any charted system. Captain Alara Vey, calm, pragmatic, of course they don't. Nothing's ever simple. Put it on speakers. A garbled voice echoes through the bridge, half static, half words. Help. Trapped. Anomaly. Tlyra, Vulcan pilot, raises an eyebrow, her voice dry. The probability of this being a trap is 67.3%. I recommend ignoring it. Joran Cade, first officer, leans forward, his deep voice thoughtful. Or it's someone who needs us. We're Starfleet. We don't turn away. He and Tlyra often clash, logic versus idealism. Rin Talvek, engineer, mutters from the back. If it is a trap, at least it'll give me an excuse to test the new shield modifications. Assuming they don't blow us up first. Dr. Sira Dallin, Betazoid, closes her eyes briefly, sensing the emotional undercurrent. Whoever sent that signal, they're desperate. Afraid. It's real. Jax Oren, cargo specialist, smirks, leaning against a console. Desperate people can be dangerous. Trust me, I've been one. He and the captain have a wary respect. She tolerates his roguish streak because he gets results. Lieutenant Shira Voss, science officer, is practically glowing with excitement. An uncharted anomaly? Captain, we have to investigate. This could be a discovery worthy of the Daystrom Institute archives. The decision. Captain Vey listens to them all, weighing logic, duty, risk, and curiosity. Finally, she gives the order. Helm, set a course. Let's see who or what is calling for help. But keep us at yellow alert. I want shields up and sensors wide. The Wayfarer turns toward the unknown, her crew a mix of nerves, excitement, and suspicion. Already, their personalities are shaping how they'll face what's ahead. Approaching the anomaly. The Wayfarer drops out of warp at the given coordinates. Instead of a planet or star system, the crew finds nothing. Just a patch of space that looks wrong. Stars around it seem to bend, as if light itself is being pulled into a subtle whirlpool. Lieutenant Shira Voss, science officer, practically presses her face to the sensor console. Captain, this isn't on any Federation chart. It's a localized subspace distortion stable, but fluctuating. Like a heartbeat. Dr. Sira Dallin, Betazoid, frowns, her voice quiet. I can feel something. Not a mind exactly, but an echo. As if the space itself remembers something. Tlyra, Vulcan pilot, sensors indicate the distortion is navigable. However, the probability of structural damage to the ship is 42.6%. I recommend caution. Rin Talvek, engineer, grinning. 42%? That's practically a guarantee in my book. I'll reinforce the inertial dampeners, if they don't fry first. Jax Oren, cargo specialist, leaning back with arms crossed. I've seen smugglers vanish chasing ghost signals like this. Just saying. First Officer Joran Cade, and I've seen people saved because someone took the risk. We're not smugglers, Jax. We're Starfleet. As the Wayfarer edges closer, the distortion ripples open like a curtain. Inside floats a derelict vessel, its design unfamiliar, older than anything in Federation records. Its hull is scarred, its lights long dead, but the faint distress signal is coming from within. Captain Vey, helm, hold position. Science, full scans. Ops, see if you can clean up that signal. Let's find out who or what is calling for help. The bridge falls silent as the crew realizes this isn't just a rescue. It's a discovery that could rewrite history. The Wayfarer's away team, Captain Vey, Joran Cade, Shira Voss, and Dr. Dallin beam aboard the alien vessel. The corridors are vast, built for beings taller than humans, with walls etched in strange glyphs that shimmer faintly as if alive. Lieutenant Shira Voss, science officer, these markings, they're not just decorative. They're reactive. The ship itself may be partially biomechanical. Dr. Dallin, Betazoid, shivering. There's something here. Not a mind exactly, but a presence. Waiting. In the ship's central chamber, the away team finds a stasis pod cracked open. Standing before it is a figure nearly 2 meters tall, a humanoid silhouette of gleaming alloy and shifting plates, like a living transformer. Its eyes glow faintly, and its voice is a resonant blend of mechanical tones and something almost human. Survivor, designation, lost. Function, survival. Who are you? The being's body shifts subtly as it speaks, armor plate sliding, limbs adjusting, as though it hasn't fully decided what form to take. Joran Cade, first officer, instinctively steps forward, protective. We're Starfleet. We mean you no harm. Shira Voss, science officer, is practically vibrating with excitement. Captain, this is a living techno-organic. A fusion of machine and biology. This could be the discovery of the century. Dr. Dallin, Betazoid, voice tight, be careful. Its emotions are fractured. Pain, confusion, fear. It doesn't know if we're friend or foe. Jax Oren, back on the Wayfarer, over comms 2 meters tall and made of metal? Sounds like trouble. Don't say I didn't warn you. Rin Talvek, engineer, also over comms, can't hide his awe. A self-repairing, transforming exoframe? Captain, if it lets me study its systems, I'll never complain about spare parts again. The survivor explains, haltingly, that its ship was part of an ancient fleet, long forgotten, that vanished into this anomaly. It doesn't remember its name, only fragments of its mission, to guard something hidden in the rift. But as it speaks, the Wayfarer sensors detect the anomaly pulsing again, like a heartbeat quickening. Something else is waking up. As Gearshift explains fragments of his past, an ancient fleet, guardians of something hidden in the anomaly, the Wayfarer's sensors flare with alarms. The distortion pulses violently, tearing open wider. From the rift emerges Thrasher, a towering, jagged techno-organic warform, easily 3 times Gearshift's mass. Its body is a brutal fusion of blades, spines, and shifting armor, radiating raw malice. Thrasher's voice booms across comms, metallic and venomous. Gearshift, traitor. You should have perished with the fleet. Now you will. Gearshift immediately transforms, plates shifting into a defensive stance, but his damaged ship is no match. Thrasher's energy lances tear through the derelict, ripping it apart in a storm of fire and debris. The Wayfarer rocks violently as fragments of Gearshift's vessel slam into its shields. Rin Talvek, engineer, yells over the comms. Shields at 60%. If that thing sneezes at us, we're space dust. Captain Vey, helm, evasive maneuvers. Science, find me anything we can use against that monster. With his ship destroyed, Gearshift has no choice but to leap aboard the Wayfarer, his massive frame barely fitting in the transporter bay. His glowing optics scan the crew, then he kneels, an act of trust. Gearshift, my vessel is gone. My mission, shattered. If you will have me, I will fight at your side. Thrasher cannot be allowed to escape this rift. Joran Cade, first officer, will take all the help we can get. Just don't turn those cannons on us. Dr. Dallin, Betazoid, quietly, he's telling the truth. He's afraid, but determined. Jax Oren, cargo specialist, muttering, great. First a haunted ship, now a 2-meter metal giant bunking with us. What's next? A board cube. Shira Voss, science officer, eyes wide. Captain, do you realize what this means? A living link to an ancient civilization, fighting alongside us. The Wayfarer shudders under the strain of Thrasher's assault. Sparks rain across the bridge, consoles flicker, and the crew braces as the ship groans against the anomaly's pull. In the transporter bay, Gearshift rises to his full height, optics glowing. He scans the cramped corridors, the low ceilings, the delicate consoles not built for a 2-meter techno-organic giant. Gear shift, voice resonant, mechanical tones softening. This vessel is fragile. I must adapt. He places a massive hand on the nearest console. Panels shift across his body, plates folding inward, limbs compressing. With a grinding hum, his towering frame collapses into a sleeker, humanoid mechanical male form, still imposing, but now able to move through the ship without tearing it apart. His new form mirrors Starfleet proportions, a gesture of respect and alliance. Rin Talvek, engineer, wide-eyed. Did he just reconfigure himself to fit our ship? Captain, I need to study that tech. Jax Oren, cargo specialist, muttering. Great. Now we've got a talking starship console with fists. On the bridge, Captain Vey grips the armrest of her chair as the ship lurches again. Thrasher's massive silhouette looms in the rift, tearing it wider with every strike. Captain Vey, helm, get us out of here. Maximum warp the moment, we're clear of the distortion. Tlyra, Vulcan pilot, course laid in. Engaging. The Wayfarer streaks away, the stars stretching into lines as the warp drive ignites. Behind them, Thrasher's roar echoes through the comms, a promise of pursuit. Aftermath. The crew exhales in the sudden calm of warp space. Systems are battered, shields drained, but they've survived. First Officer Joran Cade, we ran, but he'll come after us. Gearshift, his new form gleaming in the dim light, steps onto the bridge for the first time. Thrasher will not stop. He is destruction given form. If you flee, he will follow. If you fight, he will test your strength. But if we are clever, perhaps we can end him. The crew exchanges uneasy glances. For the first time, they realize their mission is no longer just a supply run. They've stumbled into a war older than the Federation itself. The Wayfarer hums quietly in warp. The lights are dimmed, repairs underway. The crew is shaken but alive. This is the first chance they've had to catch their breath since Thrasher's attack. Woman astronaut Captain Alara Vey. She retreats to her ready room, staring at the stars streaking past. She's pragmatic, but the weight of command presses harder now. She wonders if she made the right call fleeing. When Gearshift enters, his new humanoid form fitting awkwardly into the chair opposite, she studies him. Vey, you adapted to us. That says something. But I need to know, are you here for us, or just for your war with Thrasher? Gearshift, perhaps both. But survival is easier together. Flex biceps, First Officer Joran Cade. In the mess hall, Cade sits with Gearshift, the two of them towering over the others. Cade tests him with questions, half philosophical, half tactical. Cade, strength isn't just muscle or armor. It's restraint. Can you hold back when you must? Gearshift, pauses, optics dimming thoughtfully. I was built for war. But perhaps. I can learn. Vulcan salute Helm Officer Tlyra. On the bridge, Tlyra observes Gearshift's attempts to understand Starfleet protocols. She offers dry commentary. Tlyra, your efficiency is acceptable, though your tendency to loom is statistically distracting. Gearshift. Tilt's head, I will attempt to loom less. Wrench Chief Engineer Rin Talvek. Down in engineering, Rin is practically bouncing with excitement. He's already scanning Gearshift's systems, asking endless questions. Rin, do you know how many centuries ahead your adaptive plating is? If I could integrate even a fraction, Gearshift, gently placing a hand on the console, your ship is fragile. But it has heart. I will help you keep it alive. Stethoscope Dr. Sarah Dallin. In sickbay, Dr. Dallin tries to sense Gearshift's emotional state. It's unlike anything she's felt before, fragmented, layered, but undeniably alive. Dallin, you carry grief, loss, but also hope. That's what makes you more than machine. Gearshift, quietly hope is new to me. Satellite antenna ensign Merrick Chin. Merrick, ever eager, tries to impress Gearshift by showing him Federation culture, music, holodeck programs, even bad jokes. Merrick, so, do you eat? Or do you just plug in somewhere? Gearshift, after a long pause, I do not eat. But I can listen. Tell me another joke. The crew is stunned when Gearshift lets out a low, mechanical chuckle. Package Jack Soren. Jax remains wary. He corners Gearshift in the corridor. Jax, I've seen plenty of people who said they were allies. Most of them weren't. You turn on us, and I'll be the first to put you down. Gearshift, unfazed, then I will ensure you never need to. Microscope Lieutenant Shira Voss. Shira is still obsessed with the anomaly. She pesters Gearshift with questions about his people, his fleet, his mission. Shira, what were you guarding? What was so important it needed an entire fleet? Gearshift. Hesitates, voice low, something Thrasher must never find. Something even your Federation may not be ready for. In the dimmed mess hall, the crew gathers, some nursing bruises, others just needing company. Gearshift sits at the far end, his new humanoid form gleaming softly in the low light. His voice is calm, almost reverent. Gearshift, my world was not forged for war. It was peaceful. We were builders, singers, dreamers. We shaped metal as you shape clay, not for battle, but for beauty. We lived in harmony, each of us a part of the whole. Love was our strength. That is what Thrasher destroyed. The room falls silent. Even Jax, usually cynical, doesn't have a quip. Gearshift tilts his head, optics glowing faintly as he studies the crew. Gearshift, you are all different. Flesh, bone, blood. Yet you serve as one. Tell me, what are the differences between you? How do you know yourselves apart? Crew responses. Captain Vey, human, we're all human at our core, Gearshift, or close to it. But our differences are in heritage, in culture, in the choices we make. Tlyra, Vulcan, I am Vulcan. My people embrace logic, suppressing emotion. It is our way of survival. Doctor.
Sira Dalen, Betasoid, I am Betasoid.
I feel what others feel, whether I wish to or not. It is both a gift and a burden. Joran Cade, human, I'm human, like the captain. But even among humans, no two are the same. Strength, weakness, belief, those are our differences. Rin Talvek, human, I'm human too, but I like to think my brain runs a little faster than most. Or at least my mouth does. Merrick Chin, human, I'm just me. Young, untested. But I'll get there. Jax Oren, civilian, human, and I'm the one who doesn't wear the uniform. That's difference enough. Shira Voss, human, I'm human, but my curiosity sets me apart. I want to know everything, even if it kills me. Gearshift listens, optics dimming and brightening as if processing. Gearshift, on my world, we were one people. No Vulcan, no Betazoid, no human. Yet here, your differences do not divide you, they strengthen you. Perhaps that is why you endure, when so many others fall. The crew exchanges glances. For the first time, they see not just a survivor of a lost war, but a philosopher, someone who might teach them as much as they teach him. Return to Starbase 47. The Wayfarer limps into dock at Starbase 47, her hull scorched, shields drained, and crew exhausted. Starfleet engineers swarm the ship, patching her up for what everyone knows will be a dangerous return. Captain Vey files her report, but Starfleet Command's response is terse. The device must not fall into hostile hands. You are ordered to return and secure it. The crew exchanges uneasy glances. They barely survived the first encounter. Now they're being sent back into the jaws of the rift. Gearshift's reluctance. In the cargo bay, Gearshift stands apart from the crew, his optics dim. He knows what awaits them. Gearshift. The device was never meant for your kind. It was forged to contain what should never be unleashed. To return is to invite death. Captain Vey, then why help us? Gearshift. Pauses, voice heavy, because if Thrasher claims it, death will not stop at the rift. It will spread. To your Federation. To every star. He straightens, his mechanical frame tense. I will go. Begrudgingly. But know this, I do not fight for your orders. I fight to finish what my people began. Joran Cade, first officer, we don't have to like the mission. We just have to survive it. Tlyra, helm, statistically, survival is unlikely. but not impossible. Rintelvek, engineer, I've reinforced the shields with every trick I know. If we're going down, at least we'll look spectacular doing it. Dr. Dallin, Betazoid, senses Gearshift's turmoil. He's afraid. Not of Thrasher, but of what we'll find if we succeed. Jax Oren, cargo specialist, I knew signing on to this ship was a bad idea. Should have stuck to smuggling spice. Shira Voss, science officer, an ancient device, a living techno-organic, a rift that defies physics. This is the discovery of a lifetime. Merrick Chin, ensign, I just don't want this to be the end of my lifetime. Departure. The Wayfarer, patched but not whole, undocks from Starbase 47. The crew steels themselves as the stars stretch into warp. Ahead lies the Distortion, the device, and Thrasher. Captain Vey, quietly, to herself, let's hope we're ready this time. Starfleet doesn't underestimate the threat this time. 5 Danu-class runabouts, sleek, versatile, and heavily modified for the mission, depart alongside the Wayfarer. Their crews are handpicked, tactical officers, engineers, and scientists, all briefed on the anomaly and the danger of Thrasher. The small flotilla streaks through warp, a fragile spearhead aimed at the unknown. At maximum warp, the journey takes several days, days filled with tension, preparation, and quiet reflection. During the voyage, Gearshift throws himself into the Wayfarer's systems. His adaptive techno-organic knowledge allows him to reinforce the shields with self-repairing latticework, boosting them to withstand 150% of their previous capacity. Integrate his own sensory arrays into the ship's scanners, giving the crew a clearer picture of subspace distortions. Recalibrate the warp core with subtle modifications that increase efficiency and stability. Rintelvek, engineer, is in awe, practically worshipping the process. Captain, with his upgrades, the Wayfarer isn't just patched up, it's better than she's ever been. She's a whole new ship. Gearshift, quietly, your vessel has heart. I have only given it armor worthy of that heart. Captain Vey spends long hours in her ready room, reviewing tactical simulations. She knows Starfleet expects results, but she also knows her crew's survival is not guaranteed. Joran Cade, first officer, drills the runabout crews in coordinated maneuvers, preparing them for the possibility of a fleet action against Thrasher. Tlyra, helm, meditates between shifts, calculating probabilities, but finds herself unsettled by Gearshift's unpredictability. Dr. Dallin, Betazoid, senses the crew's fear and does her best to soothe it, though Gearshift's fractured emotions weigh heavily on her. Jax Oren gambles with the runabout crews, his cynicism masking a growing loyalty to the Wayfarer. Shira Voss, science officer, obsesses over the anomaly's data, convinced the device is more than Starfleet realizes. Merrick Chin, ensign, tries to keep morale up, organizing holodeck diversions, even convincing Gearshift to try a program where his mechanical form awkwardly attempts a game of Paris's squares. Closing beat. As the flotilla nears the anomaly, the stars outside begin to warp and shimmer. The distortion looms ahead, pulsing like a living wound in space. Captain Vey, on comms to the runabouts, all ships, prepare for entry. This time, we're not just explorers. We're guardians. Gearshift, standing at her side, optics glowing, and hunters. For Thrasher waits within. Into the distortion. The flotilla of the Wayfarer and 5 Danu-class runabouts pierces the anomaly. The stars vanish, replaced by a swirling void of fractured light and shifting geometry. Space itself feels alive, pulsing with that same heartbeat rhythm. Captain Vey overcalms all ships, scatter formation. Begin search patterns. Priority is locating the device before Thrasher does. The runabouts peel away, their sensor arrays sweeping the distortion. The Wayfarer holds central position, coordinating the search. The heartbeat quickens. Shadows ripple across the distortion. Then, like a predator emerging from the dark, Thrasher bursts forth. His jagged frame dwarfs the runabouts, spines glowing with malevolent energy. His voice echoes across every channel, metallic and venomous. You return, to die. The device is mine. Without warning, he lashes out. A runabout is torn apart in a single strike, its debris scattering like sparks in the void. Runabout crews scramble, breaking formation, trying to evade. Joran Cade, first officer, barks orders. Keep moving. Don't give him a stationary target. Tlyra, helm, throws the Wayfarer into evasive maneuvers, the ship groaning under the strain. Rin Talvek, engineer, shields holding at 120%. But if he keeps this up, even Gearshift's upgrades won't save us. Gearshift's resolve. On the bridge, Gearshift rises, optics blazing. Gearshift, this is no ambush. This is a hunt. He will not stop until one of us falls. He turns to Captain Vey. Let me face him. Alone, I cannot win. But together, we may endure long enough to seize the device. The stakes. As the battle rages, Shira Voss, science officer, shouts from her console, Captain, I've got a lock on the device. It's inside a subspace pocket, less than 200,000 kilometers from here. But Thrasher is between us and it. Captain Vey clenches her jaw. Then we'll have to go through him. The battle ignites. The distortion churns like a storm as the Wayfarer and her runabout escort scatter, searching for the device. Suddenly, Thrasher erupts from the void, his jagged form blotting out the fractured light. Thrasher's voice thunders across every channel. You cannot hide. The device is mine. All else will burn. A runabout is shredded in seconds, its crew lost. The others weave desperately, firing phasers and micro-torpedoes, but their weapons barely scratch Thrasher's armored hide. Gearshift's transformation. On the Wayfarer's bridge, Gearshift rises, optics blazing. Gearshift. This form is not enough. To fight him, I must become what I was meant to be. Before anyone can stop him, he strides to the transporter bay. His body shifts, plates unfolding, limbs locking into new configurations. With a roar of grinding metal, he transforms into a sleek, starfighter-like spacecraft, bristling with energy cannons and thrusters. He launches from the Wayfarer's hangar, engines flaring like a comet. Merrick Chin, ensign, wide-eyed. He just turned into a ship. Rin Talvek, engineer, grinning despite the chaos. Now that's an upgrade. Gearshift dives straight at Thrasher, unleashing a barrage of energy blasts. The two titans clash in a storm of fire and metal, their strikes shaking the distortion itself. Thrasher lashes out with a blade arm, tearing into Gearshift's hull. Gearshift counters with a plasma burst, driving Thrasher back, but taking heavy damage. Sparks and fragments trail from Gearshift's frame, his voice strained. Go. I cannot hold him forever. Meanwhile, the Wayfarer races toward the subspace pocket where the device is hidden. Shira Voss, science officer, almost there. The pocket is destabilizing. We have seconds. Tlyra, helm, evasive maneuvers engaged. Threading the needle. Captain Vey, all power to shields. Hold together, Wayfarer. The ship weaves through collapsing rifts, debris, and energy surges, every second bought by Gearshift's desperate duel. Thrasher slams Gearshift into a fragment of shattered hull, tearing through his plating. Warning lights blaze across his systems. Dr. Dallin, Betazoid, sensing his pain from afar. He's dying, but he won't stop. Gearshift, voice crackling over comms. If I fall, remember, we were builders once, not destroyers. With one final surge, he rams Thrasher, driving him back into the distortion's heart. Both vanish in a blinding flare of energy. The Wayfarer bursts into the subspace pocket. Suspended within is the device, a crystalline core pulsing with ancient power. Tractor beams lock on, pulling it aboard just as the pocket begins to collapse. Captain Vey, got it. Helm, get us out of here, now. The Wayfarer leaps to warp, the distortion collapsing behind them. Silence falls. Closing beat. On the bridge, the crew stares at the empty stars. The device rests in their cargo bay, humming with secrets. But Gearshift is gone. Joran Cade, first officer, he bought us the time we needed. But at what cost? Captain Vey, quietly, Heroes don't always wear the uniform. Sometimes, they build it themselves. The Wayfarer speeds into the unknown, carrying both the device and the memory of Gearshift's sacrifice. Back aboard the Wayfarer, the crystalline device hums with a low, resonant pulse. Shira Voss and Gearshift, what remains of him, fragments of his essence bound to the device, begin to piece together its true nature. Shira Voss, science officer, it's not just a power source. It's a regulator. A lock. The rift itself was created by this thing. And it only opens once every 1,000 years. Captain Vey, grim, which means this wasn't an accident. Someone, or something, wanted the rift to exist. Gearshift's voice, faint but growing stronger through the device. My people built it. The rift was a prison. The device is both the key and the lock. Without it, the rift cannot close. As the crew debates, the device flares with light. Panels shift, energy arcs, and fragments of Gearshift's shattered form begin to coalesce. His consciousness, preserved within the device, is drawn back into being. His new body is sleeker, reforged by the device's energy, less a war machine, more a guardian. He staggers at first, optics flickering, then straightens. Gearshift. I was the lock's keeper. Now, I am reborn by it. But Thrasher knows. He will not stop until he wields the device himself. The rift will only remain open for a short time before sealing again for another 1,000 years. If Thrasher seizes the device, he could shatter the lock permanently, unleashing whatever was imprisoned within. The Wayfarer and her allies must decide. Use the device to reseal the rift now, or risk everything to destroy Thrasher first. Joran Cade, we can't just run. If we seal the rift with him still inside, he'll find a way out eventually. Clara, logic dictates we prioritize containment. The risk of leaving the rift open is unacceptable. Dr. Dallin, Gearshift's return proves the device can restore life. But what else could it awaken? Jax Oren, I say we chuck the thing into a star and be done with it. Locks, keys, prisons, none of it's worth dying for. Shira Voss, no. This is knowledge beyond anything the Federation has ever seen. We can't just destroy it. The device pulses again, as if aware of their debate. The rift outside flickers, unstable, threatening to collapse or explode. Captain Vey, then we don't have time to argue. We make our stand now, with Gearshift at our side. As the Wayfarer trembles within the collapsing distortion, Gearshift's optics flare with sudden recognition. Memories long buried surge back, his brothers, the Guardians, standing with him ages ago. Together they had forged the prison, binding Thrasher within. Gearshift, voice resonant, almost breaking, I remember. The rift was never a wound. It was a seal. My brothers and I, we were its keepers. Thrasher was one of us once. But the dark matter twisted him, made him hunger for destruction. We gave everything to bind him here. And now, I must finish what we began. The crystalline device pulses violently, threatening to tear the rift wide open. The crew stares at it, realization dawning. Shira Voss, science officer, the device isn't just a key, it's the lock itself. If it's fused with Gearshift's core, he can become the seal. Captain Vey, you'll be trapped with him. Forever. Gearshift, stepping forward, calm. Better forever than everything destroyed. Remember me not as a weapon, but as a builder who chose to protect. With solemn resolve, Captain Vey lifts the crystal. For a moment, she hesitates, then drives it into Gearshift's chest. His frame convulses, light spilling from every seam as the device fuses with his core. The rift roars, pulling inward. Thrasher howls in fury, his jagged form dragged back into the prison. Gearshift, glowing like a star, grapples him one last time. Gearshift, final words, echoing across comms, brothers. I join you. Hold fast. Seal the dark. With a blinding flash, the rift collapses silent, sealed for another 1,000 years. The Wayfarer drifts in the quiet void, battered but alive. The runabout crews regroup, mourning their fallen. On the bridge, silence reigns. Dr. Dallin, Betazoid, softly. He's gone. But his presence lingers. Not in pain. In peace. Joran Cade, first officer, he remembered who he was. And he chose to be more than what the dark made of him. Captain Vey, standing tall, then we will remember him. And all those lost along the way. Their sacrifice sealed not just a prison, but the future. The crew bows their heads. The stars stretch before them once more, unchanged, yet forever different. In the cargo bay, where the device once pulsed, a faint glow remains. Not a weapon, not a prison, a memory. A reminder that even in the darkest void, there are those who choose to build, to protect, to endure. The Wayfarer limps back into Federation space, her hull scorched, shields drained, and crew weary. The 3 surviving Danube-class runabouts escort her in, battered but proud. As the station looms into view, comms chatter fills the air. Starfleet Command already knows something extraordinary has happened. Docking control. Wayfarer, you are cleared for berth. Welcome home. The words feel heavier than usual. Home. In the station's briefing chamber, Captain Vey stands before a panel of admirals. The crystalline device, now inert, rests under heavy guard. She recounts the mission, the anomaly, Thrasher, Gearshift's sacrifice, and the sealing of the rift. The admirals exchange uneasy glances. One finally speaks. You've prevented a catastrophe. But you've also uncovered a truth older than the Federation. This device, this prison, will need to be studied. Carefully. Vey's jaw tightens. She knows what studied means. Back aboard the Wayfarer, the crew gathers in the mess hall. No one speaks at first. Then Joran Cade raises a glass. Cade to Gearshift. To the runabout crews who didn't make it. To all who gave their lives so we could return. The crew joins him, voices low but resolute. Dr. Dallin, I still feel him. Not pain, not fear. Just peace. Rintalvek, he rebuilt our ship, and in the end, he rebuilt himself. That's what I'll remember. Clyra, logic dictates his sacrifice was necessary. Yet, I find myself admiring it. Jax Oren, never thought I'd drink to a 2-meter metal giant. But he earned it. Shiravas, he was more than a survivor. He was a guardian. And now, so are we. As the Wayfarer rests in dock, her crew steels themselves for what's next. The rift is sealed for another 1,000 years, but the memory of it, and of Gearshift, will shape them forever. Captain Vey, quietly to herself as she looks out at the stars, we were just a transport ship. Now, we're something more. The stars stretch on, endless and waiting.